Hey guys, welcome to Original CaligulaoctoCat. I, of course, am CaligulaoctoCat, and today we're doing another video that's not gameplay, so it's a bit different, but we're trying to do more of these on the channel, the kind of news videos or reviews or that kind of thing, and it's been Call of Duty lately, so why not continue that trend? And a month or so ago, we got some leaks about Call of Duty World War II, some pictures, kind of sketchy, but they look pretty legit, but they're kind of sketchy because they weren't confirmed. But about a week ago, last week, we got confirmation from Activision, confirmation from Call of Duty, that Call of Duty World War II would be 2017's Sledgehammer Games Call of Duty title. And today, or at least at the day of recording this video, it was announced. I mean, not announced, but the reveal live stream was today, and we got some new information, not a whole lot because it's just a live stream, and they did say we'll be getting more information at E3 2017, but the live stream revealed some pretty cool stuff, and we're going to go through some of that information with 5 new things we learned about Call of Duty World War II from this live stream. First off, we have the Call of Duty World War II campaign, which we already knew there was going to be a campaign. There's always a campaign in Call of Duty games, but kind of more specific, but not really because we don't have that much to go off of, but there's also not much to go over. But the Call of Duty World War II campaign has that same kind of the man or the mission where you have to choose, where the protagonist of the campaign has to choose whether the mission is more important or whether his squad is more important, which we also saw in Infinite Warfare. But the difference is that I feel like they're going for a more personal tone, trying to get you to kind of fall in love with these guys in the Call of Duty World War II campaign, to grow a connection with your squad and the people you fight with throughout the campaign. And Infinite Warfare kind of did that, except there was more of a limited number of people. But I believe they said in Call of Duty World War II's campaign there are 12 people you fight alongside, or at least that's what they're focusing on. And going along with that, I believe they did say that for most of the campaign you'll be fighting, I forgot his name, but you'll be playing as one character, but they only said for most of the campaign, so that leads us to believe that we're going to be switching viewpoints. Think Modern Warfare, that kind of thing in those campaigns where you kind of switch players. That makes it sound like we're going to be playing as multiple people in the Call of Duty World War II campaign. Also, I believe it was pretty much confirmed that the first mission of the campaign takes place on D-Day, and that in the words of the voice actor of the protagonist of the campaign, the protagonist is kind of a dick. People don't really like him. He's a new guy. It was really his first foray into the action of World War II. And I believe that's pretty much all we have on the campaign right now. It looks super dark, super visceral. The graphics, they showed in-game footage at the reveal live stream, and they are beautiful. It's almost photorealistic. And yeah, it's just a beautiful game from what I saw on the live stream. And yeah, that's pretty much all that they revealed about the campaign. Not many details, but I'm sure that's most of what you need to know about the campaign. I'm sure there'll be gameplay at E3. So we're going to go ahead and move on to the next thing. Next thing we're going to talk about is headquarters, which there's not much to go on here since there was just a short little thing about it. They didn't talk about it much on the reveal live stream, but pretty much they were pretty vague about it. I'm sure they'll reveal more at E3, as Michael Condrey hinted at. But yeah, headquarters is pretty much a social hub, as you're seeing in games like The Division, things like that. I'm sure it'll be kind of similar to that, but headquarters is a social hub where you'll be able to talk to other players, and they said you'll be able to show off, which I'm assuming is like your stats and stuff, show off what you've earned, that kind of thing, and also compete. They said this would be an area where you would compete. I'm not sure what they mean by compete. It could be mini games, but I don't see it being that at all. I'm not sure what they mean by that, but it's pretty vague on what headquarters was, but it's pretty much a social hub. And that pretty much should give you the information you need to know about it for now. And I'm sure they'll go off on more things about headquarters and the campaign and multiplayer and everything else at E3 this year. So keep an eye out for that. Speaking of multiplayer, there is a new thing called Divisions, which has to do with multiplayer. And it's like a class system, I think. They were also kind of vague on that as they were with a lot of things here, which is not surprising and not really disappointing. It's just a reveal. There was a lot there, but Divisions is pretty much you pick your division. It might be like teams like you had in Infinite Warfare, but Divisions is you have your infantry divisions, your armored divisions, stuff like that. I do believe they actually mentioned armored divisions on the live stream, so that leads me to think that maybe we'll have drivable tanks, weapons, or something like that. I'm not sure, but that's what it sounds like to me. Again, they were kind of vague on what Divisions was exactly, kind of vague details, so I don't have much to go on here, but Divisions will be in multiplayer this time around. And I'm assuming it gives you a level of customization for your character skills and that kind of thing, kind of like maybe like battle rigs in Infinite Warfare. I'm not sure yet, but I'm sure we'll see more in the coming months. On to the next new thing we learned after this live stream is the game mode War, which I believe was in World at War, but I'm not sure it's quite the same thing. People have been kind of comparing this War game mode to Battlefield 1's Operations, which is pretty much it's not really like the multiplayer instant action kind of thing that you get usually in Call of Duty games, although that is returning, I'm sure, which, again, they'll talk about more at E3. But this War game mode, pretty much, if you're not familiar with Operations of Battlefield 1, you fight like a battle on one of the maps, and you got to strategically kind of take these points in each of these battles, and then you move on to the next battle, and you kind of got to strategically take all these points and fight back against the enemy. Hence why it's called War, because, you know, it plays like a war. And I believe that's pretty much all on that game mode. So I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up and move on to the last thing, which I'm sure excited a lot of people, but maybe not so surprising since it's been a staple in Call of Duty for the past few years. And this last thing is zombies, Nazi zombies to be exact. And they gave a little teaser image. Again, very vague, not much to go on. But they did give a teaser image of World War II kind of soldier, but zombified, really close up and disgusting. But that's beside the point. The point is, this does confirm zombies for Call of Duty World War II. Whether this will be a kind of campaign mode like Black Ops 3's Nightmare Zombies mode that kind of went off the campaign, or whether this will be the round-based kind of thing we've seen in Call of Duty lately, zombies is confirmed. And that is kind of the last thing I want to wrap this up with. And I want to thank you guys so much for watching. Are you excited for Call of Duty World War II? Do you think it's going to be good? Do you think it's going to suck? Do you miss the jetpacks? Are you in the minority? Just let me know down in the comments below. I'll try to get back to, I'll get back to your guys' comments. And I hope you enjoyed the video. Let me know if you enjoy this kind of thing. I'm trying to switch it up, kind of do these kind of news videos. And if you're on Twitter, follow me on there. I'll put the @ somewhere on the screen, as the reason I put this video up is because I put up a Twitter poll, and the one that got the most votes was the Call of Duty World War II news. So, yeah, to recap, we got some more details about the campaign, headquarters, war, zombies, and divisions for multiplayer. So yeah, if you enjoyed this video, leave a like, all that good stuff, subscribe. You've heard it a million times before, so I'm not going to give you the whole spiel over again. As always, guys, thank you so much for watching once again, and stay tuned for the screenshot of the day.